Hello and welcome to The Middlemen. I am Juro Evans Ufeli, and with me today are Juro Cyril Abaku, who will be examining the contradictions of communication in the government of President Tinubu. Juro Olajumoke Alaode James, who will be digging into the political corruption and deception in Nigeria, and Juro Emeka Madunagu, who will be exploring the dangers of hookup culture among Nigerian youths. I will be cautioning netizens on the inimical side of social media with the use of verses, but that will be after this short break. Please stay with us.
Middleman.
You are welcome back to The Middleman. Now to my case. My case, social media friend. I have got an unconventional case today, dear jurors. And I believe that I may leave these chambers today forgiven. This jury is the hope of our society, the Nigerian society, I mean. I believe that if we put words enough together, perhaps our literary intercession may redeem us from this reprobate political wilderness and take us to a fortress of safety from whence our healing is drawn. A rabbi told me that whosoever or whatsoever we do in life echoes in eternity. Let this be my case. Now, in the realm of pixels and endless streams, a double-edged sword social media gleams, a test stream of connection it may seem, yet beneath its alloys lock a dangerous stream. Like a siren's call, it beckons on us near, with promises of friendship, laughter, and cheer. But beware, dear voyager, its depths are unclear. For in its embrace, peril may draw near. Comparisons poison seep into our veins as we scroll through lives that seem devoid of pain. Filtered images and curated tales, a distorted mirror where self-esteem fails. Cyberbullying's venom, a cruel and sharp sting, unleashing torments with each hateful ring. Anonymity, slope, and shield for the bold. Empowering trolls to spread stories untold. Echo chambers strive, reinforcing our views, isolating us from perspective we chose. Confirmation bias, a treacherous guide, blinding us to truths that lie outside. Addiction's grip, a relentless hold. As we chase dopamine, our stories unfold. Endless scrolling, a mindless escape from the real world where connections are shaped. Privacy's boundaries blurred and undefined. Our data harvested, our thoughts confined. Algorithm curates our feeds, shaping our sight, influencing choices day and night. So let us tread carefully. Navigate with care in this digital realm where both joys and snares are. Let wisdom guide us as we explore its expanse, unveiling its dangers, seizing its chance. For social media, a tool both vast and grand, hold potentials of good, yet perils at hand. May we use it wisely with mindful intent to connect, inform, and our spirits unbend, I shall go to Rabbi again.
This is a very strong warning as to how we need to awaken to social media properly. Today, social media is such a broad and wide field of human endeavor that different platforms exist and they can easily suck you in with a world of illusion, a very unrealistic universe or planet in which everybody looks good, clean, praying, proper, no problems, no pimples on their faces. But it could all be curated and artificial. And so if you follow that part of life, you may be chasing what doesn't really exist. Absolutely. Social media tries to blur imperfections, but life is imperfect.
Sure.
That's one. Number two is the fact that, again, from Rabbi's very, very incisive case, we look at the fact that somehow things like trolling, cyberbullying, and so on, basically just carried, again, the irony, carried the vicious part of life, that is vice of human nature, into a new space, which means that on its own, social media may not be to blame. But the fact that anything man touches carries man's DNA with it.
Yes.
So that's where we are. Social media, either for good or for bad, is how we personally make it to be.
Well, interesting. The aspect that has to do with how algorithms shape our views.
Yes.
What it means is that there have been fears about the influence of artificial intelligence. But of course, these algorithms have been there with us since social media came to be.
Yeah.
So what it means is that AI has been actually influencing our thoughts for some years, but we are thinking it's still futuristic.
Is it influencing our thoughts or mimicking our actions?
No.
Because your algorithm follows what you prefer to do on social media.
Correct. So what it means, what it does is like it follows your thought patterns over a period.
Yes.
And then serves you
what you like.
What you like.
Yes.
And not necessarily what you need.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily what you actually
want.
But the point is that, when you're on your phone, your attitude aligns with what those algorithms, serve you.
Yes.
Which may not necessarily be what you
I think the algorithm only stimulates your habits. The things you like to go after are the things it brings to you.
It looks at your habit.
Yes.
It looks at your habit over different sides.
And the truth is that algorithm is not just a function of the internet. Before the internet was even invented, we had algorithm in advertising.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Now people sell. That's what they call the psychology of sale. There's a book, The Psychology of Sale, that talks about how advertisers will use temptation and seduction to get you to purchase
what you otherwise
goods and services, and they make it so appealing to you. So they now when you look at those things, it knocks off all your excuses of getting them. And the only thing running in your mind from morning till the night is
how to get the money to buy it.
How to get it in by any means possible. And at the end of the day, you pick it. That's part of algorithm. That is what was transcribed into the
Social
internet.
media.
See, now we have the robots that now look at what you, and it's just to serve you. And also to draw you to a point of making a decision, whether informed or uninformed. So that's what they're going to do.
So what I
when we
pick
come to
from
the crisis,
this entire conversation is that because human beings have both bad and good in us, wherever it is that we find human gathering, be it online or offline, we come with our DNA, like you put it, good and bad. Social media is a tool. However you use it is determined by you. Our brothers in Nigeria have been using the internet for internet scam for a very long time, even before we became social media savvy,
yes.
right? So the fact that you and I can now go into that space,
Jesus, our brothers,
our
male and female.
our brothers and sisters. But I mean, it's predominantly male now. They use the female as speakers.
as speakers. Is that not a conspiracy?
But if you as a human being do not watch what you expose yourself to, even when you are offline, before the internet came, before social media came, you needed to be careful the people you surrounded yourself with.
Yes.
If you're a Christian girl and you decide to surround yourself with the hookup girls, one day you just see that you're not thinking of hookup as being a bad thing anymore. So the same way, if you decide that what you want to be looking at is naked girls on Instagram, do not blame the algorithm for supplying you more naked girls.
Yeah.
You know, it's following your habit.
Yeah, and now I wanted to come to the crisis, what I call the crisis of gadgetry or gadget addiction. If social media is neither good nor bad, but becomes what its user makes of it,
yes,
gadgetry couldn't be so innocent, because this love of gadgets, all right, it is destructive. It makes us reduce focus and so on. I think that's one that we also need to look at, because we all access social media by electronic, either your phone, your tab, your laptop, and so on. We have an entire generation growing up on gadgetry, and so sometimes
we learn.
Yes,
I read books on my gadget.
Of course, I also do, but as avid a reader as I am,
so your gadget itself is innocent. Is what you use it for.
The social media is only software.
Yes, but
your gadget is an innocent
thing.
So, like when we talk about the dangerous part of social media, we're looking at a situation where two strangers, you know, have come to meet each other on that platform and have developed connections. And the next thing, you see that they yearn for a desire to meet offline. And from doing that, some people conspire and they do harm. We've seen it.
Things.
We've seen it from the girl that was killed in Calabar to the people that you always have that issue. You understand?
Have you realized?
You have strangers coming in contact.
But have you realized that our online life, right? In fact, our real life, as we are gathered here, is a distraction from our online life. We're more online. We're closer to people in the diaspora, closer to people around the world than we are to people seated next to us.
Yeah, but
you will see a family at dinner, right? Everybody on their gadgets.
That's where
you will see husband and wife at dinner while they are waiting for the food to be served. They're on their gadgets.
Because it limits human interaction.
So whose fault is it? Is it the human beings who have decided that, well, we don't really have anything to interact about, I may as well just scroll through Instagram while I'm waiting for my cup of coffee? Or the people who say, you know what, at dinner, put aside your gadgets, let's have a conversation. These are harmless tools.
That's why
how you use them.
It's gadgetry.
What is our values we grew up with?
Yes.
If we're going to have a meal at the table, it was expected that there will be no distractions.
Yeah.
Now, another value is that at every table there will be a head. Now, social media, the interaction, on social media tend to make it look like the walls.
Is there still a head at every table now?
No, that is what it looks like.
It's
now we have headless mobs,
but it's a value.
But there must be a value that says, can we concentrate on the dinner? Can we put our gadgets aside? Can we put any distraction?
But there's a breaking news on that gadget too.
Sometimes when you go to the office of the PSS or EFCC and they ask you to drop your phones at the reception,
don't you drop it?
You drop your phone.
Yes.
Are you walking?
Yes. And the world doesn't end.
So an hour of concentration wouldn't kill.
Yes.
Where I was going was that sometimes even on social media, maybe you're chatting with a long lost friend in London, somewhere in the world, but gadgets are particularly a bit more culpable because they do harm, psychological, okay, even to your eyes. As having a reader as I am, reading a physical book is by far better than straining your eyes on a screen. And then
my screens, they have Blu-rays.
Okay, and then the question like a sort of capacity for human interaction. Say boys who grow up playing video games suddenly go to school and they can know that is not social media. They can no longer concentrate even in class to learn. So I mean, for me, it was an aside to say that I totally agree with this case, but to add that whatever we must do as parents, as siblings, as friends, to reduce, to regulate, assume that for proper use and even gadgets is always welcome, because in the end we're humans and we can only be human.
I also think I'll come back to the values. I'll come back to the values. I noticed that my children now prefer to read my books. Books that have shaped me as an adult. My children are very interested in those books. There are some books I will try to hide from them so that they don't get radicalized, because they are still very young. They may not understand certain things that shape the thoughts behind those books.
Yes.
So I don't snag, but I just try to tell them, okay, why not read a bit of your books? And now, if you will guide generations, upcoming generations, of course, these things are innate human thoughts that definitely there must be leadership and you must follow leadership. The other thing I want to just quickly chip in is that your gadgets should not control you. You know, your gadgets also have listening devices. So what I do often, I go to my settings and I check for those apps that, have access to my microphone, and I shut them off, because I don't want you listening in on my conversations and then selling my thoughts, data, and interactions to third parties.
All right. When we return, Jurosiri Abako wants to know who actually runs the Nigerian government. Please don't go anywhere. Stay with us.
Middleman.
You're welcome back to the Middleman. My case: who runs the Nigerian government? There is crisis on the rock. No. There is crisis inside the rock. All is clearly not well. Else, how does a government contradict itself this way, always? A government ought to be the seat of sound purpose and direction, but not so with the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. We have never had it this bad. Last week, it was the two spokesmen slugging it out over the president's May 29 itinerary. This week, it's worse. The fight is between the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edun, and one of the president's spokesmen. Regime apologists will be quick to separate the presidency from the president. But even the president, if he looks in the mirror, will find the answer isn't too far from where he is. Which way this government? I don't ask for lack of what to believe. I always knew subsidy never ceased to be paid. Subsidy was never gone. Like I said last week, power games are deep games, and no one has the full picture of what could have really gone wrong. But whatever the case is, the coffee doesn't smell nice at all. My verdict: the president should take charge of his ship. It's the least he could do. Let there be only one communication channel, so Nigerians know where to turn. I so rule.
If he knew that there was only going to be one communication channel, he would not just have come at his inaugural speech and said, subsidy is gone. He hadn't even sat down to examine what subsidy was about. What's happening? How much are we paying? Does it need to go? When? And put a proper plan in
We
place.
had 1 month to the time that
End of years.
Yes.
we cut it short and disrupted the life of Nigeria.
Yes, because he just, made that unguarded utterance. Now, since last year, or was it this year, that former Governor Kaduna El-Rufai was saying, Tinubu's government has paid more subsidy than ever before.
He has a court case already.
Well,
That's his payment.
No. But you remember now that the Kaduna State House of Assembly is saying that this guy put us in debt. How did he spend 400 billion?
No, if you follow the story, 423. It was after he said it. He spoke.
Yesterday they said they are going to present.
He spoke in Meduguri,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
It was as soon as he spoke,
That they now
and they are so smart. They didn't put ESC after him. What they did was that they took the problem to his village. Let his village will be dealing with him.
and constituted.
And just so that he won't.
Okay, so while he is headed to trial, right? We have now heard the Tinubu government themselves
Yes.
have now owned up that last year 2023 they paid 3.5 trillion
on subsidy.
And in this year
The same subsidy
2024 that they are paying 5.4 trillion. The same subsidy that is gone.
No, you
No,
don't.
let me answer your question. See, let me answer the question you asked. To who is steering the ship of the Nigerian state?
Well, rudderless
Or
now.
where are we going to?
We don't know.
The answer to the question that there's nobody steering any ship.
That's it.
You understand? So the ship is just on top of the water, heading to
Being thrown by the waves.
Otherwise, because you see, as we are waiting now for Nigerian Glary to come up with his own statement.
Yes,
now we've heard from Wale Edu, and we've heard from
And then we've seen action for
and we've seen action from one side.
the same document.
Yes, Nigerian Glary now, between now and tomorrow, may
He
come
will
out
use white
with a
English.
statement and say that even the president is wrong
He will.
and every other person is wrong. So that is the kind of government that will run in Nigeria. And to say that we are keeping up with this as citizens is, to say the least, most unfortunate.
I agree.
What can we do about this confusion amongst the president's handlers? Can't we take charge of our destiny and define what Nigeria should mean to us, rather than allow men who actually do not even understand
What they are doing.
the circumference of leadership, how to go about what to lead, who to lead, when, how? We need to come to that point where citizens will take charge of their own destiny.
I have a question
Until
for
we do that,
Nigerians.
we are going nowhere.
Nigerians, how did we get here?
We
To the
snatched
point.
it, grabbed it, and with it.
Around with it.
Do you know that
That's
what the maker said?
The political system.
what the maker said
What
is
brought us here.
what the maker said is instructive.
Very instructive.
By the action, Wale, the Minister of Finance, has submitted the subsidy bill
Or the entire
to the
document
president.
said
To the president.
Yes,
Yeah,
he
yeah.
has, which means that he started what he said.
You know, the president asked him to go and work out.
Sure, now, then,
this thing.
so the question I'm going to ask is, was this subsidy money budgeted for him?
It wasn't budgeted for.
So where they get the money from?
I do
No,
not know.
They pay more.
the president is going to submit a supplementary budget.
In second quarter.
He's supposed to budget first before spending.
No, but you know, Akpabio
So-
gave
so-
him a leeway. He said he will submit a budget. You know, but Akpabio now reminded him that no, at this stage.
Where did they buy? So where did they buy the money from?
The budget cannot be retroactive.
You know, they've not actually.
The Lagos Calabar Coastal Highway.
They're not fully funded.
No, when you're talking about Vermont, you would show us the project.
That's what we are saying now.
Budget for.
And then when
which you are now. Which you have
Sidestepping.
decided to sidestep. Fund along. That's Vermont.
Yes, now.
In this case, there's nothing like that.
No, so I'm asking because the argument has to be that the money was taken from somewhere.
Yes.
So, and that taken from is called environment, right?
Yes.
So, where was it van without communication? Nobody knew.
Nobody knew.
Lagos Calabar Coastal Highway.
Where did we
Was
get
the money
the 9 trillion from?
or divide it to?
No,
I don't know.
You see, maybe also that's why they are starting this battle with states over local government funds. Because you know they've been looking at different places.
Where they can get money.
We can't turn ourselves into government apology. So,
I'm not even about. No, what I'm even saying is that look at the first case. Joanna said the citizens. Which citizens? Citizens who have been captivated by social media. Citizens who jump at everything they see on social media, who believe everything, who are not ready to defend any even ridiculous things. There was a case of a man who took a man and helped him, and then when the man was there, he flogged him. Do you know that right on social media, there were people defending the man for beating this man? Now this man ran away and ran back to the street. This was somebody he brought from the street, encouraged him to change, to get married and all of that. But he flogged this man openly, and then the man ran back to the street. Now people were defending, yes, he did the right thing, did that and the other. Now the very man who did this beating has come out to apologize that what he did was very wrong.
Mm-hmm. Well, he has fans and supporters.
Now you can see the sad condition in which Nigerians are. That is that people don't even know what value.
unable to think
Nothing. They can't
and
even
unable
think.
to decide. Adolf Hitler said something. He said that how fortunate are governments?
Yeah,
That
the
the
way they
people
lead,
don't think. See, there's just used to say something now in politics. Napoleon of France, Bonaparte said that stupidity is not a handicap. As far as the government is concerned, it pays them that people that
that they are governing, they are very
That
thoughtless.
is the reason.
They are distracted with their gadgets.
That is the reason. Anyone who is critical about them, whether you're a journalist, you're a lawyer, if you go to DSS now,
They pick you
they'll
up.
pack everybody put there because they don't want anyone who is critical.
Dissenting voices.
They want these ones who are of the social media, entertainment, and sports because that takes a huge chunk of their time before they remember that they are being governed. It's only when
Sir,
it has went off of them.
the
entertainment
Tinubu
and
government
sports
in the
and
last
finance.
1 year has borrowed 20 trillion.
20 trillion, yes.
Sir, what have we used it for?
You know, when the president traveled to Saudi Arabia and then later on to the Netherlands,
Netherlands.
and thereafter to Saudi Arabia, and thereafter
To
where
UK.
to where nobody knew.
Nobody knew, yes.
Before he came back to Nigeria, he spent almost a week there. They kept us busy on Twitter, debating for and against P2B.
Yes.
While the president's whereabouts
Was unknown.
they said, "Why Ononuga? Why will you do this kind of tweet? Is beneath you." But it was good enough to keep your attention away from his principal
Yeah.
and
But
on him.
you know, somehow, when the conversation started tilting back to where the president was, he suddenly
Appearance.
Yeah.
So I think that this issue, this embarrassment that happened, you know, I suspect that there is a propaganda warehouse
Yes.
that actually
They distract us.
routinely releases these things. But it appears that within Tinubu's government, some of them are actually getting tired of all the drama and just want
Something better to happen.
Yeah, let us just tell them the truth.
Yes.
Let's stop playing around because my dear, there are intelligent people who are actually messing us
A story that I read yesterday. I haven't checked that fully, but let me just share it. Yemi Farumbi, former NTA newscaster, you know, is a bearded man,
Yes.
and ambassador to the Philippines, was quoted as saying that President Tinubu should come out clean and tell Nigerians what is really the situation.
Wow.
That they inherited a mess to the effect that Buhari's government sold Nigeria's oil 4 to 5 years in advance
Up front.
and filtered all the money.
Yes.
And that's where we are. It's a pagoda.
And the crude we have now, the ones we have, we've used it to borrow money.
In advance.
A mortgage. And frankly speaking, I wrap with this for this segment. There is nobody who means even partially well to serve this country that will be in this kind of environment and be happy that government today just goes topsy.
And let me say this, that we told Nigerians that elections have consequences.
Yes.
During the election, somebody costumed some persons as bishops to draw, the sentiments of Nigerians to believe in a cause. That's camouflage. It's not different from what we have now that we see.
Yes.
So when you are asked not to sell your vote, you sell it. This is a consequence.
So, when we come back, Juror Olajumoke Alawade James will be probing corruption in public offices and the nonchalance of the people. Stay with us.
Middleman.
You're still on The Middleman on Enterprise TV. My case, Nigeria, we hail thee. Where did Governor Fubara find the $300 that he gave each Muslim pilgrim in Rivers State? Was it government money or his personal funds? At a time when we ought to gather all our dollars to fix the power sector, to provide 24 hours electricity so each citizen can provide their own income, the federal government claimed to have subsidized the 2024 Hajj pilgrimage with 90 billion naira. Religion is no longer personal here. We export what we do not have and import what we have. Nigeria, we hail thee. The Nigerian Deposit Insurance Corporation, NDIC, just told us that 99% of the 2.3 million depositors in the defunct Heritage Bank didn't have a total of 5 million naira in their accounts. It means less than 23,000 of Heritage Bank's 2.3 million depositors had 5 million naira or above. At current rates, 5 million naira is less than $3,500. 99% of a Nigerian bank's depositors didn't have $3,500 in their account. We're playing with multidimensional poverty, and we can't even demand good governance with one voice. I mean, while we're debating the timeliness of the colonial national anthem, school children have started learning the anthem. And Ashiwaju baby still hasn't told us the ideas Baba shared with her that will take Nigeria out of the doldrums. I jest. But are Nigerians really serious about good governance? We're arguing over government's inability to afford a 100,000 naira minimum wage, but 30 governors can spend 968 billion on recurrent expenditure, including refreshments, travels, etc., in 3 months. We jest. Are we focusing on what governors are doing at all? Or we allow them use public coffers as their personal ATMs, wait for them to leave office, to have EFCC chase after them in cases that last from 14 years to infinity, and if there's any conviction at all, the presidential pardon can reverse the sentence. Nigeria, we hail thee, majoring in the minor, while elected officials run amok. My verdict: unless and until Nigerians stop defending thieving politicians and arguing over baseless issues, our politicians will continue to divide and rule, conquer, get away with blue murder, and will continue to live in poverty and darkness. Nigerians, I hail thee.
The Nigerian case is hereby recast once again. And what we see, even from your case, is that continuous malady that we've always had in this country. A governor whom before now have been so criticized, fought against by his predecessor, and had gained immense sympathy or empathy from the public, including the elders of his land.
Yes.
Talking about Fubara.
Yes.
Is sharing money to
pilgrims.
$300
a piece.
300. That is the one that is from a governor identified. You know, the federal government also used to budget funds for them.
90 billion, sir.
For that.
For 2024 Hajj, 90 billion.
Yes. This is an activity that have no economic
value,
impact, no value, nothing. It has no academic content.
Except for Saudi Arabia that they are going to share.
Well, I mean, the whole thing is not even well thought out for me. Now, you are using money that belongs to a state, to fund religion. And in the same vein, we are made to understand that religion is a personal thing. You do not need to use state resources to fund it. Sometimes you are giving this money to very scarlet sinners who pretend to be worshipping a God they do not know. And the state will have to lose its resources to that cause.
Churches and mosques do not pay taxes.
To bless the mess.
Yes, to bless the mess. So,
God.
We need to see. This is an impeachable offense. Yes, it's an. Even
Wike can use it against him if he wants.
No, what I mean is the one that those 27 lawmakers were trying to hash before to use to impeach him when they don't have locus shouldn't have been. They should have waited
until he did this one.
Yes, they shouldn't have
wasted their time.
But they should have waited so that it will get to this point. Then they will push for impeachment.
See the problem.
Their seats are now vacant.
No, I understand your argument.
This is pathetic. Very
sure, but if they had waited, this wouldn't have happened.
True.
You know why? Because the governor, whether right or wrong, is only being very pragmatic. Right? You know that his position has been very difficult for him.
Yes.
Wike cancelled what was called ROTC, Rivers Transport Company. It had been there for a long time. He just disbanded and told everybody to go. for why they're going to bring it back.
Yes.
Everything Wike dismantled is what
He's
Fubara is
bringing
going to bring back.
At the expense of
Everything we can set up, Fubara is
So that way,
10,000.
yes. So yes, exactly. So it's like saying, let's totally demolish this man called Wike. So anything that will make him look good in the eyes of people is what he's doing.
I agree.
Normally,
Are those things in compliance with the law?
governor of Rivers State sponsoring Muslim
Those
pilgrims
lawmakers will also go on Christian pilgrimage.
looks like a very
So they will have nothing to
prospect.
speak him on.
But he will
Their
do
own
it
list
because
soon be out.
anywhere can get support from. He just want to get support from him. For me, it's an act of desperation.
I agree.
Yeah, so if they're not trying to impeach him, this would have
He will not have been doing this.
Yes. But now he needs to look good in the face of even northerners. Make it look like I'm an inclusive governor. When we thought he was running for president of Nigeria in 2007, he was, I'm glad that the former governor of Nassau was his running mate. He was pushing money. You know, he made it look like the North, you could feed the whole North with Rivers money.
Yes.
Amechi did the same thing. Wike did the same thing. Fubara has come to that same point where he feels he should cut. So this is the problem.
Hold on, no. Should they be fighting?
But none of them have done anything about the poverty in Rivers State.
And so now that's the problem. Again, they would like to ask you, as any governor, push poverty out of the state entirely. But for me, like I said, whether it is Rivers, Abia, anywhere, what governors must do is simple. Create that environment in which people can thrive. As a matter of fact, look at Lagos for example.
You see, the $300 if they use it to do power generation. Because you know the power industry has been taken off the exclusive list. If Rivers State says we are doing power generation
on this desk alone, how many of us are organic Lagosians that I am uterine or biologically from Lagos State or naturally from Lagos State?
I'm from Osun State.
Good. None of us is. What will it take for this to thrive in our own states? Is what our governors must do.
Yes.
Because there's a mad traffic. You don't want to come to in Nigeria is either Port Harcourt, Lagos,
or Abuja,
or Kaduna. They are the four main places.
Kano.
Even Kano. Do you know that as Delta City on its own has capacity to either be equal to or even better than some of these that we mentioned?
We agree.
But maybe they've not tapped it up to that point.
Yes. Osun State we have gold that is on the exclusive list.
So what can we now do?
And the people are living in poverty.
Yes. What can we now do to beat out this monster of lack of maladministration, and to see that governors or anybody who is at the federal level is able to govern his own territory in a way that people just want to come there, invest, reside, work, contribute, pay taxes, and leave? What can we then do?
The citizens
stop arguing.
In your case, you talked about
stop arguing on social media and agree.
You talked about Heritage Bank, right?
Yes.
And that
where less than 1% have over 5 million in their account.
In their account, less than 1%. Before now, we haven't told that less than almost over 90% of Nigerians
do not have 500,000 in their account. So that's CBN generally, all of us.
And listen, this thing they're talking about is naira.
Yes.
That 500,000 naira will be like $350.
$350.
You understand? Which is which is what someone earns per week in the US. So it tells you that the citizens are highly disempowered, and you see
multidimensional poverty.
You see it in their lifestyle. You see it in their you see, because you are as healthy as your ability to earn and take care of yourself.
Meaningfully.
Yes, you are as healthy as that, but whatever you think economically and otherwise.
Rabbi,
and your ability to think futuristic and think on the scale of progress is also determined.
I have a question.
People are so aggressive on social media.
You know why?
They are poor.
So the 100,000 naira, the 100,000 minimum wage that we're arguing about, it's not even. It's less than $100.
No, it's less than that now.
Let me even say this here.
So
$70.
We've been talking. So let's even. Let's break down the sum.
We have not even agreed on the 100.
We've been talking. They will not get 100. They will not get 100.
They're not get 70 or thereabouts.
Let me say over 60.
Let me say 61. You see, for example, we've been talking about government not having direction or focus, right?
The people say do not have focus.
I'm coming. One of the
people's case is worse.
One of the simple things they can do. Every government program must be something that can be recited in a sentence. Something that is simple.
Yes.
At the back of it may be huge.
Yes.
But something that we can all run with.
Yes.
Right?
That's the vision now.
Yes. I may not pursue this course of action as president. But let me say this. If President Bola Tinubu came up and said, I want to create 100, or let's say 1,000 millionaires in the next 6 years, or the next 5 years, and work towards it, it could veritably become a national vision.
Buhari did
Which
that.
now come
Buhari did that.
maybe said, but
He said that's what. So if people come to tell us anything that Buhari said,
I'm not talking of saying.
Buhari said he was going to make how many millionaires?
10,000 people.
10,000 millionaires. And then he said he would do it in 10 years. At the point when he was saying it, he had already used 6 years out of 8.
And he has used our crude.
If people come to tell us that he wants to take 1 million people to millionaires,
to take loan and mortgage the future of those people who want to make 10 million.
And as a,
So was a contradiction.
and as a result of that, right, create a government program that helps people to move from wherever they are to where government believes its citizens should be. That could be one slogan.
we are talking about somebody that has vision.
Let me deflate that argument.
Okay.
You see, what we need in Nigeria is not for the president to come up to produce millionaires. That's not what we need. No. It's not what we need. What we need is for the president to say that unemployment is about 56% right now. Okay? That in the next 2-3 years, we are going to create employment to bring down that number to 20%. Okay?
I said Buhari said
Then you are able to fix that, focus on that unemployment. Then get these Chinese and the Lebanese and all these people, Indians that are giving us slave wages. Okay? Let them buy into that program of government. The government is able to rejig the sector, give them tax holiday if need be. Then let's have that employer. The indigenous employers should buy into the program.
Entrepreneurship.
Yes, it's better.
Who the wealth creators.
Yes, it's better. Yes, to
give us
to
electricity.
get people engaged working than to produce millionaires.
And also the
millionaires
the question
without productivity.
No.
I wasn't going there.
Millionaires without productivity.
How do you want to create?
The idea should not be creating millionaires. The idea should be to create
enabling environment.
Yes, citizens that are comfortable. Yeah,
Who have earning power, right?
Who have
Yes. So well,
that is the way to go. Until we get to that area, I don't think we are doing anything reasonable.
When over 50% of your population is unemployed, I think what you need to do is
You
first of all
also
just provide power.
Look at
Let us go and create income for ourselves.
what I was saying was,
see, look at the misery index, and then look at the illiterate.
Oh, you mean we are no longer the happiest people on earth?
We are still there. We are still there.
When we
Look at the misery index.
Emeka and Adunagu will be delving into the hookup culture and the future of Nigerian youth. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Middleman.
Welcome again. You're still watching the Middleman on Enterprise TV. My case, hookups and the future of Nigerian youth. Recently, it was reported that 2 young ladies selling in and Afibata went missing after allegedly honoring an appointment with social media contact Mr. Andrew Kameji Ucheko in Abia State. From emerging details, one of the girls appeared to be familiar with the man. They also claimed that the appointment was for a trance, aka hookup. The fact that one of the girls was married has raised eyebrows about the increasing involvement of men and women of different ages, marital status, and economic circumstances in the hookup business. The strange aspect of this business is that some of those who turn up for hookups have disappeared without a trace. The connection as gleaned from social media, press reports, and police accounts is that the number of the patrons are engaged in rituals and organ harvesting for sale. Unfortunately, Ocheko, the prime suspect in the disappearance of Selin and Afida, a Ghanaian, died in suspicious circumstances while being transferred from Abia State to the First Circle at Abuja for further interrogation. So whatever information you could have provided on the missing ladies is lost. Selin was said to be a social media celebrity, a tag associated with some of the ladies who have disappeared on hookup dates. For how long will this trend continue? Many blame the business on the bad economy, but does it mean nothing can be done about it? My verdict, a stitch in time saves time. We cannot continue to pretend that it's a bad economy and so nothing can be done about it. There is a moral angle to it, and therefore a crusade needs to be waged against hookers and predators, beginning from the home, to save the lives of wayward participants. Yes, we're in a democracy where freedom of association is permitted, but whenever such unfortunate incidents occur, The entire society is running to it. So all of us must be involved in finding solutions to human rights. And so
You cannot legalize morality. We have discussed it on this table.
Yes, you cannot legalize morality, but what you can do is to ensure that you find you criminalize some aspect of human activities, especially now that some social media has gone very, very difficult.
Who will criminalize
Not too long ago, 2 weeks ago, there was a young lady that came up on the News Honest Bunch to say that if a man speaks to her in the morning, that he hold her in the morning, he will beat the man in the evening.
Yes.
That it will take only 20 million to have her open up her legs for anyone or anywhere in her body to ensure that and all that they get to. So now it's about when you go to Shamda, you get men. Come, bring money, bring it. These things are you can never have enough of money. People don't know that.
Yes.
You can never have enough of money.
Once are unlimited.
Yes, 2. People are looking for anyone, anything that can take away the burden of their poverty, except themselves thinking through, finding out, using ideas to come up with products and services that will help them ameliorate their poverty. Some ladies will tolerate and bear their father's poverty, but cannot bear or tolerate that of a third party.
You want them to continue like that?
It does not matter what it is they are. If they bear their father's poverty,
they should continue in the poverty.
This thing is getting out of hand. And coming back to the hookup business, today, it does not matter.
Why is there a demand for hookup? Hold on, sir.
Whether you are married or not, people want to do whatever they want to do.
Why is there a demand for hookup? Because there will be no supply if there's no demand.
There's demand and supply. We're not talking about the demand and supply, because the demand they're talking about is not all men or all women are making the demands. Certain persons are making demands.
Madam Jumoke.
Those people who are making demands, you cannot use to cover everybody. That's 1. 2. Those who are supplying their body to fill in this void called demand are doing it
at the risk of their life.
Basically for economic reasons.
No, I disagree.
No, largely so.
I disagree. Call it greed.
No, only few people.
You will, if you say that there is no way, there will be no way. If you say to yourself that you will find an alternative, you will. Because there are
economic reasons does not mean I support it.
No, when you say economic reasons, right, that there is poverty in your family does not mean that the only way is to sell your body. There are people who walk from their villages to Lagos to come and start trading in pure water, the minutest of things. And such girls will look down on such men.
Yes, they'll look down on them.
So that is economic reason is an excuse. If you are looking for excuse, you will find.
A married lady came on Facebook recently. She was so miffed, so angry, that she went to, a shop to buy something, and he said there was this young boy who walked up to her. He said, "Madam, that his hair was painted." She said, "So maybe that looks like the symbol of all those young gigolos." The guy walked up to her and said, "Madam, I can take care of you. I can make you very happy." That the guy was talking to her confidently, and she was sure she wasn't less than 20 years older than this guy. And she just wondered at the effrontery. Why?
Instead of having to go and do Thanksgiving in church, that she did not fall for the man.
So I say, now it's young guys expecting, favors from older women. So you now have a situation of cougars.
There's an industry.
In the United States, the cougar industry is life.
Yeah.
Where older women seek out younger men. In Gambia, is one of the biggest businesses. During summer, old elderly women.
You are distracting us from the crux of the matter. Which is no. I'm talking about hookup being used as a cover for organ trade all over the world. So they say, "I will take care of you." I was just saying, instead of this lady to be happy, go and do Thanksgiving in church that she has escaped, because that take care of you. You may enter the room with him and come out as body parts.
Mm-hmm.
No, but you know that.
You remember Uduak Akpan?
Mm-hmm.
In fact, he was convicted.
The guy was convicted.
Uduak Akpan was convicted for the murder of Inyobong Umore. She had gone to look for work. Yeah. I don't think they've killed him because he was.
No, he's been convicted now. He's been sentenced.
He's been sentenced to death by hanging. But we haven't heard. I don't think we have an executioner in Nigeria. Siri, remind me the name of the Facebook celeb. God bless you.
2012.
Yes.
She came from, was it Abuja to Lagos?
There's another one in Edo State. That happened in Edo State. A young girl that went to read.
Please let me tell you why I mentioned Uduak Akpan and Umore. We on Twitter dissected the case, found by making phone calls, David Undein traced the kingpin behind Uduak Akpan, because while he was picked up, there was somebody calling the police officer and saying, "Do not let them trace him to us." Anyway, they called the name of our selected senator, and his wife came out and said, "No, we are not in this business." So a few years after, another senator, our Senate president, was convicted in the UK for this same
former deputy Senate president
for similar case.
Is it not curious to you? Is it not? Don't find it curious that in the current case under reference, the
suspect died on his way to Force Headquarters Abuja.
I would like to think
that's where I'm headed to.
I would like to think died mysteriously, because the narrative out there is about two girls, one married, one single, who went on a hookup spree or binge or whatever it was. You know, and how wrong it is. Married woman, no married woman. They try to blacklist women now, but the background story may be lost about the man that invited them. He wanted two of them over, and they found that he himself is now dead. When the story, like this one, they say, when the story come cast, as they picked him up, he has died.
Where is his body?
Which means that
there's a cover up.
I can come to a safe conclusion that matter wasn't purely about hookup per se. There was something more to it than whatever it was. Extension. Now, coming to the issue at hand itself. In First Yayi's novel, Violence, there was a question. They said, "Are you a soldier? No, are you brutal because you are a soldier? Or you are a soldier because you are brutal?" Human nature is a very deceptive. Even people say that the heart of man is very desperately wicked.
Yes.
Like nobody can understand it.
Yes.
Just when you think you've understood and mastered yourself, you will find that you can do a lot, a whole lot more than you thought you could. Now, in the case of these two ladies, we are talking about demand and supply, but human nature is very desperate, is very dark, and these things have been there for a long time. Whether it is demand or supply, people market it. You know, there are agencies, people whose work is to be supplying people who want to do hookup. So the appetite and taste is very strong among young ladies. I found this out some weeks ago, and I couldn't believe it.
Do you know? Sorry,
it's not economic, it's greed.
No, but look at it. It's not greed.
See, whatever you want to call it.
There's also the daring nature of youth. I came across a story today. There's a lady, young girl, 21 years old, working in the restaurant. She has actually been making the restaurant for a long time. Anytime people pay for takeaway, she will give them her account instead of the restaurant's account. So somehow they discovered, when they checked her account, there was no money in it. When they kept tracing, they found out she was, wait for this, she was building a house for her boyfriend in his hometown. She had bought a keke for her boyfriend. There was 3 million in her boyfriend's account, and she was only 21.
Offshore.
So you can see that this thing has
inexperience. And that boy will give time the moment she's arrested.
That's it. We deny her.
Yes, I deny her.
So that thing, see where I was going. You may call it greed here. You may call it economic problem here. But at the center of it is the fallen human nature and its depravities. You can never.
In this particular case, I want to know. How did the suspect die? Because the police need to be investigated too.
Who will investigate the police?
Because the guy himself is with so much information that could have been used to avert further incidents.
Are you not a Nigerian? Where these things happen?
He died. What happened to him that he has to die?
It's covered up now.
We need to get to that point. Because you see, crime.
There's a cartel.
Crime in Nigeria have become so provincial that people organize it to a point where they make room for escape in the event that they are caught. They make room for escape.
I have a question.
You understand?
Is Nigeria not a criminal enterprise?
When they are caught, we cannot broach that. So when they are caught, they already have a script of what to do. In the Odwak case, the moment the guy was caught, somebody was calling police to say, don't let this leak through this.
Yes.
This particular one, the moment
the guy was arrested, he died on his way.
You understand? So what is going on? We must unearth,
how was our deputy Senate president arrested outside of Nigeria? If he was in Nigeria, would he have been arrested?
What I can say is this: if you are a middleman, run for your life. Don't play this middleman role, because all middlemen have a problem with expendability. The moment something has gone all right, the first interest of the big man is to get the middleman killed.
Yes.
So that he
will not get back to him.
Let the listener know that you're not referring to middlemen.
Yes, because I was not going to middlemen are not expected.
If you are middleman somewhere, in the criminal underworld, run away.
A better society.
And then stay away from acting that role of a middleman.
Yes, please.
Because crime, when you have conspiracy, a conspirator is as good as a principal offender.
Yes.
You understand? So when you get to court,
Juror from
you
Rabbi,
begin to look at
welcome back home.
That's all on middlemen. And Juror, but I appreciate you, my fellow jurors.
Thank you. Thank you.
For being on the show with me. Most importantly, thank you, viewers, for staying with us. See you next time on Middlemen.
Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth.